All right, adventurers, welcome back to the world of Asunder. As usual, we'll be giving away a book for one of our lucky viewers so that you can play Asunder at home, as well as a special map from our location tonight, which you'll see later on in the show. But before we get in to all of the chaos and, dare I say, danger of Asunder, let's meet the players. Take it away, Adam.
So welcome to the World of Asunder. This is a dark fantasy RPG setting. It's in a world where there's no metal. The gods have abandoned it, and all that are left are these humans whose essence bonded with different aspects of the world. And this essence gave them a symbiotic relationship, and it may be a symbiotic relationship with plants or insects or animals or the sea, or even for some it went internal and they can manipulate their own body. And for others, it found chaos, which were these remnants of the gods that allowed them to reshape things. There are also those whose essence bonded with these things called blight crystals, which allowed them to affect the gravity. They're called skimmers, and they live in Sky City, where our adventure will be set tonight. The game system uses Rob Schwab's Shadow of the Demon Lord system. And this is a one-shot adventure. You don't need to have seen anything that's gone on before. But here we are with this amazing cast. And what's unique about this game is we don't use classes, maybe in some more traditional RPGs, but they use paths that occur as a result of your storytelling. You might take on a path, be recruited into an army or something, and that gives you your abilities, and it shapes in time. So that is Asunder. And Nocta, why don't you tell us about Gary and who Gary is as a character?
So Gary is just this big, swole grandpa from the Black Isle. He carries a large bone buster sword. He recently picked up a large, I believe it's Horok shield, the bone shield. And that thing is a beast as well. And he's been very fond of that because it allows him to tank a lot more. But Gary's always looking for a fight. He's been wanting to join the Bone Army. He's got some really cool, mental link abilities and just endurance things that he can do, and he's just trying to do some right in this big old crazy world as he travels with these folks doing different missions for the Bone Army. So
Nice. Well, in this world, characters are not playing adventurers, they're playing seekers, people who are seeking the truth, seeking answers to terrible things in their past, seeking for what could be the end of the world. And so, Autumn, why don't you tell us about your character, about Nemain?
So Nemain is my Picari bonded. She has two beasts that she is bonded with at the moment. A four-winged raptor bird of prey who likes to cause people all kinds of crazy hallucinations, as well as a horse-like creature with two horns named Mam. But she's a flexing wild thing. She hates it when people count at her using their fingers, as we learned last round. Otherwise, she has a mark that has been burned into her forehead. So she's trying to figure out why that was put there and what exactly it could stand for, on top of causing general chaos and mayhem and picking up heavy things just to put them back down.
Also a swole person. We got a lot of
Very
swelling
swole.
here. Very swole. So, Sarah, why don't you tell us about Clay, your new iteration here?
Clay's not as swole, but he's not unswole. Clay's just basically just a kid, and he doesn't carry a weapon. He just has a mask that he carries and sometimes adorns, and stuff happens when that happens. And Clay's just looking for any excuse to show off his mutations and punch somebody. And he is a seafarer survivor.
Right, so tell us about this here. What is his mutation? Because all seafarers, because their essence bond to the water, have some sort of physical mutation. What's his?
He is his mutations don't bother people because they're kind of appearance wise, but he can breathe underwater and swims pretty much normal speed underwater.
Got it. So he's dolphin fast and water breathing.
Yep.
Nice.
And
Nice,
he's
nice.
also
So
got
Spike.
these slitted cat-like pupils. That's the other thing.
Ooh, I like this. I like this. And your fatal flaw is
I'm aggressively proud of my mutations.
nice. Nice. So Mr. Creepypasta, also known as Spike, also known as Atticus. Tell us about your character.
Okay, so Atticus is a rather young boy. He is 19 years old. Had a very strained youth where his mother was killed by a group of bandits that invaded his home, and he held on to her hand the entire time that he was hidden below the floorboards until he tried to emerge the next day, and the only thing that was left of her was the hand that he was holding. So he keeps that on his person, eventually poach animals until he was picked up by the guard and forced into being a gladiator. And now he is a hardened gladiator warrior wearing rhino hide armor and a cool whip, well, war whip made of bones on his side. Also can grow a shield of hornet wings out of the side of his arm.
I like this. And so he can toss this shield, kind of like Captain America, and it comes back. And it's a piece of living gear, because in Asunder we don't have magical weapons. We have living gear that symbiotically lives and grows on you. And this one is insect based. And this is rad. And he also has a vanguard, and that path, he's a support player that we haven't had that before, where somebody who can, when you take an action, he can use a triggered action to give you a boon to help you out. Add 1d6 to anything you're doing. He is the king support player.
Tacticianer.
Yes, a tactician. That's support. That's weak. Tactician. Yes.
Yeah.
And now, John, why don't you tell us about Shiram?
Oh man, these guys seem like they're real cool. We're gonna have a lot in common. I'm Shira. I'm a seafarer, survivor. I'm pretty hard to keep down. Kind of a scrawny. I'm not swole. Scrappy, scrawny guy. But my fingers and toes are claws, and I can climb real good. Unlike lots of different stuff, I can climb real good, and I have a mask. It's very useful. It lets me breathe underwater and stuff, because I can't breathe underwater, but Clay can breathe underwater. That's gonna be real cool. But so that's what I do. I'm still getting used to like people and like people rules. So kind of on island by myself for like three monsoon seasons, I think. So that makes me like 16, 17 monsoon seasons, something like that. I don't know. My mom's technically not alive. I don't know. Her heart's still beating though. I got it in a jar. That's it. I'm down. I'm down to help my new friends. I met these guys a little while ago. They're all real cool and know lots of stuff.
Nice.
Protect at all costs.
Yeah. So we have a group here with definitely some mother issues. We've got one with their mother's beating heart and one with their mother's hand. There's definitely some therapy probably we're going to be required at some point in this. I love this. So these are our seekers, and tonight they are seeking. They're seeking the infiltration and betrayal of a rebel group in Sky City. The Bone Army has commissioned Gary, and he has brought along his gang to infiltrate this rebel group called the Third Eye, which are in Sky City. And they are trying to bring down a house called the House of Ra. And in Sky City, there are 7 of the powerful houses, and the House of Ra is the 6th one, and they're trying to move their way up. And one thing they do in particular is they harvest the blight crystals, and they have these micro islands where there's this special moss that helps them grow them. And the blight crystals help keep their islands in the sky. So that's how they have power. And the rebels want to deliver a terrifying blow and destroy those micro islands, which would set back blight growth dramatically, and it could not be ignored, but it could have long-term consequences. And the rebels of Sky City are generally those folks who feel like the aristocracy has spit on them and lied to them. And so so tonight they are going to be raiding and attacking those islands, and they're going to use their small band of wyvern riders and this new technology which they've been working on called a flight suit, which involves spores and some other elements and Blyce crystals. You've never seen it, and they've kept it top secret. But the group's mission is to steal this flight suit and release the wyverns to stop the raid. Or at least that's what you initially committed to, and that may change along the way. So now you've been embedded now with the Third Eye for about a month, and this is the night of the raid. And you guys are in the island, and maybe, John, you could show us we're in the Third Eye's base. The map, I don't know if you can bring that up. But the Third Eye has their hideout is in actually an island that's floating in the sky. They've hollowed it out, which is illegal in Sky City, and they've set up all these various places inside it. And inside there, they have different rooms and their equipment, and the group is hidden, and all in there about 35, 40 people. And why don't you tell us, and Gary has gotten close with Delphina, this woman who's one of their captains. And why don't you tell us, and we'll start with you, Gary, how you managed to get to infiltrate and to find yourself here on the night of the raid. How did you infiltrate?
So we managed to get a lead here from the Bone Army, and they sent us out telling us about this group. And it was actually our idea to infiltrate, because when we initially found the place, we realized how much bigger it was. So we endeared ourselves to them because we discovered it. And I came in there and we saw this woman, Delphina, who was obviously one of their lead commanders. And we just essentially said, there's nothing to see here, with kind of a wink and a nod. And we turned away and we reported that back to the Bone Army. And when we returned to here, we told them that is what we told the Bone Army. So as far as these rebels are concerned, we're on their side, and we are reporting as though nothing is going on here, and that we're doing regular, kind of like check-ins on this area to make sure nothing weird is going on. So we're kind of running like a cover for them. And that's how we essentially entered ourselves.
This is cool. So they know you're a part of the Bone Army, but they think you're working double agent style.
Yep.
And I like this. So the Bone Army is the largest mercenary army in the world. They're all over places and usually employed by governments. And so ISIS, you've become the smokescreen. I like this. Autumn, Sarah, I know you're also connected with Clay is connected with this guy, Moreland. How did you build that relationship with him? He's like Delphina's right hand. And he's a lasher. He has a living whip that's always on him. And how did you connect with him?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as he met me, he was like, "Man, I can't. How could I not be friends with you? You're so cool. Like, you're the coolest. You're the coolest guy. You're the cool guy." So I just was like, "Hey, man, I'm the cool guy, and you're the cool guy. Now we're the cool guys together." That's it. That's all it takes. Just be cool.
Nice. I like this. So Clay's overwhelming charisma led him into this. So one person that you encountered along the way was this guy named Cancor, and he's the inquisitor, if you will, of the Third Eye. He makes sure everybody's allegiance is in a line, and anytime you interface with him, you have to make a social challenge roll, because he's always sort of testing and prodding your vigilance to the cause. And failed challenge rolls with him build up and could sound the alarm. So this is another unfriendly person who you know in the mix. So right now, you guys know the raid is going to be happening tonight. It's maybe 1 to 2 hours before the raid, and you guys are just outside of the Great Hall in one of these tunnel hallways that interconnect these rooms inside of this island. And it's Sky City, and it's built by skimmers. So, like all things there, it's elegantly arranged and cut. And there's glowing phosphorescent insects and lanterns that run down the hallway. And there's a sort of soft light. And Delphina has pulled you aside, Gary, and said, "Hey, I know tonight is going to be very dangerous, Gary, but when this is over, I want you to be by my side. Things are going to change after this. I want you to be by my side here in the third eye."
Okay. How exactly will things change after this?
The 7 houses will know that we can't be ignored. There's going to be revolution. And the main, you're not too far from this. You're eavesdropping in on this. Clay and Moreland are maybe a little bit down the hallway, and Spike and Shara are talking about their mothers. One's got their heart out, the other's got the hand out, and they just, no way. Ah, man, I wish I'd had the heart. Oh, I wish I had the hand. They're in that kind of discussion that could only happen in Asunder. But in the main, you're overhearing this conversation. Malcolm, I want you to be right. This is going to be revolution. This will be the war this will start the war that changes everything here in Sky City.
And I kind of look out over where they're talking about, and I'm just thinking, and I turn and I'm like, how many innocents will be lost in this? Is this only going to target the patriarchy or the upper class? Like what's going to happen here? Are there innocents on that? I guess Gary would probably know if there are innocents that are going to be hurt in this, but I mean, he's still vocalizing it either way.
Yeah. I mean, there'll be no innocent. There's always casualties to change things, Gary. There's always going to be some losses. But taking out these islands is going to be air-to-air fighting. And so that you know, table talk, your guys' part of this mission tonight is you guys are getting into an airboat. It's on the top of the island, and you're going to come in. They have these chemical vats that are put into these barrels. They're almost bombs, if you will, that you're going to be dropping on the islands. That's your piece of the mission.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, it's air to air. There may be a few people there, harvesting at the islands, but we can't let that stop us. The time will never be perfect. We have to go now.
Whatever you say. I just want to make sure that we are cognizant of everything we're doing.
But I want you to be with me when it's after. I want us to make something here together.
I believe I can be part of that.
Okay, make a social challenge roll here, Gary. She's eyeing your commitment and your passion. Roll 1d20. You don't have any banes. I mean, this is someone who likes you.
Yeah, of course. Let's see. So just 1d20, no banes, and
you get 10 or better in intelligence.
Intelligence. My intelligence a flat 10. So I guess we'll see how this goes. That is a 10 flat roll.
He's touched. So kisses you. She knew this was the right choice. The main, you toss eyes to Gary because you know how deep he has just misled this woman. She steps away from you and in steps to this tunnel, Kankor. This is the Inquisitor we were talking about. And he comes in and he nods to Delphina. She walks past him. There's occasional members of the Third Eye maneuvering around, but he stands before the group of you here and says, "Are you ready for tonight?" I think you're muted there, Autumn.
Said ready as we'll ever be.
He nods. So why don't you play this battle plan back to me one more time, Clay? What's going to be your objective?
We get into boats that aren't really boats because they fly. Boats are in the water, but that's fine. That's okay. They're not. Yeah, see, he gets it. We get in the big boat, the fly. We take the and we drop the and we get him. We get him real good. We get him real good, boss. That's
His
it.
eyes get a little squinty. He gets a little squinty. Why don't you make a social challenge roll here? Sir, I don't know that he's feeling so convinced about this intricate strategy which you've so poorly explained to him.
So plus my what?
Intelligence.
Oh, good. My intellect is a 9, and I rolled a 1. So.
So when you get to a 0 on a roll, which can only happen when you roll a 1 and you get some negatives or you have a pain, the opposite effect occurs.
Yep.
And in this case, he gets real solemn on you. Well, Clay, it's guess we can't be in better hands. And he looks around at the rest of the group, and he just turns around and storms off. And he's charging into the main hall there. You can tell as he walked away that he was not convinced.
As he walks away, Clay is just looking at his hands, confused. Like, I think my hands are fine. I don't know what this guy's fucking talking about.
I think it sounds like a good plan, because if you're gonna drop things that are gonna explode, a high place is a good place to do it. So flying boats, this makes sense.
High place, man. That's what I'm saying. I mean, maybe he was mad because I said the boat's not a boat because it doesn't go in the water, but whatever. Like, it's not a fucking boat.
It's not a boat. It's like a bird cart.
A Bart. I don't know,
Yes.
man.
That's a good word.
Nice.
Is that a word?
It's not a fucking. It's not a boat. It's a word now. If we make it a word, it's a word.
Is that how words work? People have been telling me that I'm using wrong
that's how
words. I could have been
works,
just
man.
making
So
my
if you
own
make
the
it,
whole
if you
time.
say is a word, it's a word.
It's all very confusing.
The man, you look at Gary and you think, you realize you don't know where the flight suit is, and you don't have the key to unlock the wyverns, and time is limited, and you approach Gary with what he wants to do here.
You got me, man. That was a wild ride from start to finish. So what's your plan, bud?
And actually, I think, if possible, because this is the cool thing, we have our mental link established. So just in case there's anyone around that I wouldn't want to hear this, to Nemain, I will say, I'm not sure. I thought I was positive about what to do. I thought I came here knowing, but the longer we've spent with these people, the more I begin to question who's in the right. And I'm not really sure anymore. Petra's told me a lot of things about Sky City and the people that run it. And I know she couldn't come with us this time, but it just makes me wonder if, and I look down specifically at like my bone gear, because to me, it's just it's that physical reminder of who I'm with. I look down at it and I'm just kind of like, I'm just not sure anymore.
What if I
lean over to Atticus?
Go ahead.
I think he's doing the brain talking thing. He does it. He talks in his brain like a sea serpent.
They're able to do that?
I think just him. Because sometimes he just stares at people and then they're like,
So stare back and forth between anyone he's looking at.
Who's that? Who's that guy? Not me. Mm-mm.
Thump, 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 the beating of your mother's heart. Thump, 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 thump.
Right.
So as we're having this conversation, I kind of look to Gary and I'm like, hey, so listen, what if I told you that I needed something out of this to suit me? But my concerns are that if we line up with what they're looking for, we may have to renege on the initial agreement once I get what I need out of this.
Nemain, you gotta be clear with me. Just tell me what you need, I mean, this is the most secure line we can have. You're honestly my most trusted member of my team at this point. I love these guys, and I imagine they're doing something weird off to the side. Like there's a gesture at the other three, and I'm just like, I trust them, but you know, I know you've been traveling, so you know where I stand. What do you need? I will help you with whatever you need.
I don't like this House of Ra and what I'm seeing so far, but I need that flight suit. I have to turn it into them because they have the people who know about this mark on my head, and I need the information. But I don't want them to keep it because you and I both know that means bad juju.
That does mean bad juju. So you want to get the flight suit, turn it into the people that the other folks, and then pull it back though after you get the information you need.
All I want is for them to spill their happy little hearts out so that I can get what I need out of it, and then you and me can rip the suit, kill everybody in the room, and call it a day.
Let me talk to Delphina. Maybe there's something we can do to align with everybody's needs. Can you
trust her?
I trust that she wants to take down the House of Ra, and I trust that if I go to her and genuinely tell her that that means we have to run a distraction using that, then maybe, just maybe, I can convince her of that. Will you speak with the others and make sure that they're on board as well? I just want to make sure we're all on the same page, if you're okay with that.
I can establish, but I might need backup. I'll do what I can. But I am at your service. I need to know what's going on with this mark and what it's supposed to stand for, and I have a feeling these guys know exactly what I need them to know.
We'll do what we can.
So as this is happening, Nemain kind of looks around, takes a deep breath, sighs, and turns to each and every member, starting with her favorite member. And that at this point, please just look, I know Mom is with you, okay? And you're hearing the thump thump, my guy, but I need you to hear me out for a second, all right? I have a favor to ask everybody, and I need you all to understand where I'm coming from. I need that flight suit. Just long enough to get the House of Ra to bring me the men that I need to explain this mark.
Oh,
Clay was in the middle of pouring a bucket of water and like showing how his gills work, and he like tips the bucket back, and he's like, "You want to fly?"
Yes. Yep. That too. But
what?
I also want to do things with it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but you just need it for like to give it to them for a minute and then take back, right?
For just a minute. I just want it for 1 minute to get these guys in my sight.
Because, yeah, okay, yeah, no, because then I need it because I'm a bird.
You're a bird? That's so freaking cool.
Yeah. Somebody gave me this, and he pulls out a little sapphire bird, and they said I was a bird. And so I have important bird stuff to
awesome.
do. I can't do bird stuff without the suit.
I think I'm like a fish. Because I can swim underwater. Because
you have the gills.
I breathe underwater. I swim real fast.
Mm-hmm.
So is that a yes from everyone?
Yeah. As long as I get it afterwards to be a bird.
So Nemain looks at Gary and goes,
"Can I swim somewhere?" I don't know. I was just saying.
We're really high over the water.
If you need anybody to breathe underwater, I got you.
If you jumped from here, would you die when you hit the surface? Because I heard you die when you hit the surface.
No, man, I'm so cool. I would do a 360 flip, and I would like dive in there like totally dope, man.
That would be very cool.
You know what I'm saying?
I once saw a bird do that. Maybe you could do it with a suit.
A loud sound goes through the tunnel, and you know what that sound is, and it's the sound of gather in the main hall. And you can see a couple of the members of the Third Eye that nod at you as they walk past and make their way down the tunnel into the main hall, the meeting hall of the Third Eye.
Okay.
And you know that's the cue for you to be going there as well, too.
Okay. Is there any chance that I would know where Delphina is, or if I could catch her prior to this meeting, or is this like everybody's going there, so that's where she's going to be, and I'm going to have to work something out there?
It would be like what you just said there, right?
Okay.
This is the night of the raid. You're assuming this is some sort of instruction, sort of something from Tanaka, the boss. You assume,
Okay.
right? Yeah, I mean, everybody's on high alert. They know the attack's tonight.
Cool. Then yeah. All right. So I'll look to the team and I'll be like, all right, as normal until things change.
Got it.
Normal.
I don't do normal, but yeah, man.
Y'all are better.
Clay
better
only
than
does
normal.
extreme.
Extreme! There is no other thing!
I know, bud. I know.
So you guys step into the main hall, and it's this large room that's been carved out of the inside of the island. And there is a podium built out of ice crystals that fills the center of it. There's a ring of columns around it. And all of the about 35 to 40 members of the Third Eye are coming into the room. You can see Delphina, Gary, across the way, and you can see stepping up on top of this pedestal that's there in the middle of the room is Tanaka, and he is the captain of the Third Eye. However, he is not the Third Eye. No one has ever met the Third Eye themselves. There's rumors that the Third Eye could be maybe a member of one of the houses trying to bring them down from within, or it could be someone from the mainland. No one is certain, and they keep their identity a secret, and Tanaka is his hand here, if you will. And Delphina is one of his captains. So he's a skimmer of Sky City, and as you look around at the group, you realize none of you guys are skimmers, right? Nobody is originally from Sky City, and this group also has a lot of outcasts as well, because Sky City is a very elitist place, and you realize you kind of fit in with this. They're about half skimmers and half of the, so to speak, immigrants to Sky City talked into this room. So he steps to the top of this, and he has a mighty bone hammer, and he slams it into the Blice crystal to call attention to himself. The room gets quiet. Gary, you can make, Delphina makes eyes with you. She gives you that knowing look that says, we're together on this. And he announces that the Seven have plagued our home for more than 2 centuries. They have lied and deceived the people, claiming they wish to improve life when all they have done is extort those in need and slaughtered the innocents, all while smiling. They took my 6 sisters' life, but it was not in vain. We know the secrets of House Ra, a house trying to maneuver to a higher ranking. This we will stop. We will destroy their ability to grow Blice crystals, and their island will sink, and people will see that they are not so high and mighty. The people will see through the great game. I will lead the first wave of the assault, followed by a tactical landing on the 3 Moss Isles. We must be swift. Once the alarm has been sounded, a wave of wyvern knights like we have never seen before will come down upon us like the sky god's wrath. This is the calm before the storm. We strike in 2 hours, just before dawn. Ready your soul. Death may claim some, but the 7 will be shaken to the core. And the group starts chanting and sticking their hands up in the air, and the symbol of the Third Eye, and it starts chanting, and then this cavern is filled with the mighty chorus of their voices, and you can see all of this raw emotion, but when you look at it in your hearts, you guys know that this is a band of 40 against a house, these mighty houses with hundreds. In a way, you feel so weak. So Tanaka steps down off the podium, and Kankor whispers something to him, as you can see, and he points over to you guys as Kankor talking to Tanaka. You wonder if maybe Clay's fabulous encounter with Kankor inspired that suspicious look and point in your direction. What are we doing?
I'm trying to get through over towards Delphina. Like, I'm just trying to kind of, like how you kind of just sidle through a crowd, just trying to make my way over there with like a sense of urgency.
In which case I'm playing interference because I know that has to happen.
Clay's caught up in the moment and chanting and like fist pumping and like, yeah, we're gonna get him.
I am following Gary because my fatal flaw is inspiring me to ask a question. I'm not sure to ask it to, and he seems like he's going to go to somebody who I can ask a question.
I
Oh,
love
God.
it. I love it. I love
Taking
it.
stock of the people in the area, the numbers and faces in case of like any kind of attack.
So, Spike, why don't you roll 1d20 for me?
Okay.
You're going to make a perception check.
I have 11.
Nice. And so you get a +1. So roll 1d20 and then add +1 to it.
15.
Nice. So you notice two things going on. One is you notice Rihanna, one of the leader of the wyvern clutch that leads the pack of the 4 wyverns. You notice her across the room, right? And this time, she's the one with the key, the wyvern cage.
Okay.
And so you clock her. She's talking to some of her other wyvern knights. Interestingly enough, none of them are the official trained ones from the academy. They're all beast riders, and she's actually Bakari, so she's an oddball here, but her bondmate is a wyvern.
Okay.
And so they're discussing something, and she takes a loop around the corner, and she seems to disappear almost into the wall. Not quite sure what that is, but she takes a dip, and it seems like she just disappeared into a wall. But you clocked that.
Okay.
Gary, so Delphina is waiting there for you. The crowd is starting to, is keeping this chant going here like they are at a rave, and which Clay this is his happiest is in this moment. This is it. This is metal for him. But Gary, you're now toe to toe with Delphina, and she's like, "Oh, you're being so public about this. How are you feeling?"
There is a sense of urgency in my eyes, and I'll actually gently clasp her hands in mine and be like, "Do you trust me and know that I will do anything to take down the House of Ra?"
He's like, "Yeah, of course I do."
Then I need you to trust me when I say I need to know where that flight suit is. It is of the utmost importance. And as he says this, he takes his bone buster sword off his back and just presents it to her, with flat hands. And it's just I will leave you everything of anything you want. I've had this from my beginnings, but it is the most important thing that we do this. I need you to trust me.
She looks over her shoulder. She's immediately nervous at the topic. Right? She looks over her shoulder and around at the crowd with people talking. Why don't make a social challenge roll here?
Right here is where Sharab pops up next to Gary. I have to know. How come none of these people have 3 eyes? When I was a kid, I knew 2 different people that had 3 eyes. There's a woman, she had one up here, and there was a guy that had one on the back of his head, and they were on the ship. None of these people have 3 eyes. So why is it called this?
So make that same social challenge roll with one.
Say it.
Bing.
Don't. No, I knew it. All right, here we go.
Sirach cannot resist.
Do I get something for playing Fatal Flaws here? Is there a...
You get a seeker point. And why don't you tell us what your fatal flaw is?
My fatal flaw is you often say things that scandalize and offend land dwellers.
Well, it's about to get real fun. I rolled a 1 and I rolled a negative, or I rolled a 2 on my bane. So.
Oh. So yes, you do get a secret point because that was a well-played fatal flaw, and you can use that secret point to add a boon to anything, but except for this very moment. And then now, so Gary, unfortunately, what's happened is we know when we get to 0 or below, particularly in social encounters, instead of the intended effect or even just it not happening, you get the opposite of the intended. In fact, it's called irony, right? The opposite. So Delphina takes a step back from you and starts to get very, very nervous. And she looks around, and it's like almost for the first time, she's realizing, wait, have I been mistaken? Have I been misled? What have I been thinking? And she starts to back up, and she bangs into Tanaka, who's right behind her. And he looks around. Everything all right?
And there's
I'm-
just like, oh,
I was just asking about who has 3 eyes because nobody seems to. I think maybe that was a wrong thing to ask. I'm learning more about there are wrong things to ask.
Tanaka looks at you with some stern eyes. Shura, I know you're doing something dangerous for us, so I'll let you have a pass, but the third eye is not to be mocked.
Oh no, I wasn't. Like I said, I knew a lady who had an eye up
Not
here.
to be mocked.
Okay.
Give the kid a break. He's young and he's learning. At the very least, maybe there was a misunderstanding. We deeply apologize. I'm certain that we can be sure we're all on the same team here, right?
And Delphina looks up at Tanaka with eyes that are a little bit nervous about it, and Tanaka looks back over at Kankor, who's like giving a little point direction. Giving a little point in this direction. The only person who seems to be doing great right now is Clay. Everybody feels good about Clay's commitment. But Kankor is giving that little poke your direction, and Tanaka looks at Delphina. Is everything okay with Delphina? You look worried. You look as if something is the matter.
The main interjects immediately, offering a kind hand. So, to be fair, aren't we all a little nervous? I mean, come on, it's a really difficult thing to face. We're about to go into a big fight, right? Like, lots of energy. Everybody's a little messed up right now. And then she looks at Gary and sends him a mind message of, fix this.
So, Jermaine, make a social challenge roll as you're trying to calm this situation, because they've gone from neutral to definitely suspicious, right? We got 2 badly failed social challenge rolls. So go ahead and roll 1d20. And they're suspicious, so you have 1. Oh, no. You have 1 bane because they're suspicious. Nemain, what's that number that you rolled?
It was a 3.
It's a 3. So you also have a bane because they're suspicious. So roll 1d6 and let's see where that lands you.
A 2. How dare you? You're not allowed to roll for me anymore.
So a 2?
It's a 2.
Okay, so 1, you saved it from making it even worse. But Tanaka says, feels like maybe we might have made the wrong choice in having you guys pioneer the sky ship. Maybe there's something better for you on the ground, or maybe it's best if you're left here for this attack. I know you're new, and I appreciate your commitments, but this might be too much. Might be too much for you.
Clay finally gets the sense that something's happening and everyone's gathered without him. And Clay like bounds up and he's like, guys, are we gonna take him out? Are we ready to take him out, guys? What's the holdup?
Yeah, Gary's the best captain in like all the world. I met a few captains.
Man, look, the world's a big place. My old captain, he was good. He got us all killed. Well, everybody but me.
See, he wasn't very good. But Gary hasn't gotten anyone killed, except for bad guys. We killed some bad guys.
Tanaka is like, he's just starting to shake his head. He's like, I think maybe we make a different course of action for you tonight. I think it's best that you stay here. And
I think it's a really dumb decision, but go off.
But Tanaka and sort of nods and makes his way, and Delphina just looks at you, Gary, and lets your sword drop to the ground and says, I gotta see about some things. I've got some very important work to do tonight. And Tanaka looks at her and he gives her a symbol. And why don't you go ahead and, Gary, make a perception check and see if maybe an intelligence check to see if you catch it.
I'm gonna like as Tanaka's walking away, I'm gonna like run up and put a hand on him. Hey, no, so you want us to like you want us to stay here and watch all the important stuff because we can me and these guys we can fix everything up while we're here. We can make it better than when you left because like we're just gonna be sitting around. We're all charged up to go have a fight, and we're not gonna get to have a fight. So I'll tell you what.
Come on,
we can
man.
work on all this sort of stuff.
Coach. Put me in.
Yeah,
Let's go.
We could do a lot of help here. We can like. Do you want me to fix the bombs and make the bombs better?
No. In fact, I'm certain we don't want you to touch the bombs.
No.
I'm certain of that. Shira, no, I think in fact, I think Shira, it might be best if you just go back to your quarters and get some rest. I think that's the best thing that could be happening right now for everyone. Thank you. I'm just gonna go ahead and exit away.
So
Gary,
we could do like maintenance, like I know how to make the city fly higher.
What the fuck?
The whole island.
What the fuck did you guys do? Everything was going fine. We were gonna fuck these guys up. We were gonna drop the big bombs. We were gonna do it.
Asked a legitimate question about anatomy of sky people. It was apparently rude.
Man, why are you worried about that? They're weird. They're not cool like us. They don't have cool stuff like us, man.
So yeah, Gary will at a certain point just like as kindly as he can, but still stern, turn to the other two, just be like, but like I rolled a 1. I rolled a 1 again.
While some of this chaos conversation is currently taking place, I'm actually going to approach Nemaine real quick and give her a quick nudge to point out kind of what I had already seen with Rihanna, because I'm not sure which information I want to give off to what person, but I know that she can give this off to Gary and more than likely get everyone else into the party.
As everyone's kind of distracted for a moment, Shira will kind of lean in to Tanaka here. I have a secret that I think I can only tell you. Very important.
Well, it's best that you tell me that secret right away and then go to your quarters and take it out.
I pull out
what is the secret?
I pull out a little sapphire bird. It's like, I don't know if you know who gives these things out, but before I met these people, somebody gave me this and told me that they're gonna tell me where to go and who to help, and I'm supposed to help you.
He gets very, very, very quiet. All the air has been sucked out of the room. And he looks at that bird in your hand. And he looks up at you. You're with the kingfisher.
I'm just a little bird.
And he gives a look over to Kankor, who immediately has an organism on his chest, and he squeezes it, and a new sound comes storming in, and all of the members of the Third Eye, they're pulling out weapons, they're circling around Tanaka, they're coming around, and they've circled you all here in this mad rush. And you can take an action or a triggered action at this time as the members of the Third Eye are forming this circle around you. But showing that little bird maybe did the opposite of inspiring confidence. And everybody making a quick intelligence check, because this is your first time hearing what that name. I love that you did that.
I got a nat 20, but I have my intellect's a 9, so 19.
I have no idea what significance these people have in the world.
I got a 14.
I got a 9.
So we got a 13 and a 15.
Nice. So for everyone else in this group but Shira, you know exactly what that is. The Kingfisher Society is the Illuminati, is the evil Illuminati of this world. This is the darkest of the secret societies. Their hands are ebbed in sort of every nook and cranny of the world, and interfacing
guys.
with them is a very, leads to essentially the destruction of things. They replace empires. They cause wars in the mainland. Members of the Third Eye are fumbling around each other to try and surround you guys. Is anybody take an action or a triggered action? Though in the main, you do know about this passageway or this not passageway. You know about how Rihanna sort of disappeared into a wall. Does get that to you before then, and also you pass that to Gary in the mind.
So I'm telling Gary via mind speak right now, like we need a diversion because we have to make it to the other side where that wall is. Like whether we know what's there or not, we know there's a hole somewhere and we need to find it.
Okay, I'll see what I can do. And
Do you guys not like birds? I thought you would like birds. How high is the ceiling in this place?
It's probably about 15 to 20 feet.
That's pretty high.
It's the highest and biggest room, yeah.
Not near a wall, am I?
Yeah, you are. You guys circled around to the edge of it to talk to Delphina. I usually want to try and climb.
All right. As soon as everything seems threatening, I am jumping onto a wall, going for a climb. I am scurrying away from the rest of the group because at a certain point, I can recognize a threat. And I can tell that...
Oh, no one's confused. No one's confused.
They are not happy about this. And so, yeah, I'm running away from the rest of the group.
Nice.
At the risk of terrible things, I'm going to open my mouth one more time.
Dear God, please.
As this happens, now I don't know. I was a peasant conscript. I was a champion. I was an agitator. I think I know how to speak to a crowd, especially one that's kind of riled up. So I am just...
I agree.
From the depths, like using my physical presence to just kind of like, I put my arms out and I'm like, wait, we are just like you. We are outcasts. We have come from every corner of this place. We have come here to take down someone who has trodden on those below them. And while we may have come from some questionable places and have done some questionable things, I know that each and every one of you has done the same. I will not be questioned. I have given up everything, and he throws down his bone shield, to be here. I have friends from this place who have told me of the atrocities of this society, and I will not be questioned by the likes of any of you. Now, I will walk out that door and leave if you wish, but I am here to destroy the House of Ra. You will not lay a hand on any of us. I assure you that.
Nice. Make a social challenge roll with a boon. You get a boon.
With vital advice, can I give him? Does he only get one boon, or can he do like?
No, you get a second boon because you can get multiples of them and it add up. And so here's the game plan with this. So maybe in this, tell us how this vital advice works. Did you say a few words? Did you chime in as well and say and add to that?
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah.
I also like the idea that you like whispered in my ear, like when I said the wrong word, you're like, no, it's trodden. And I was like, oh, trodden down.
Clay doesn't have vital advice or anything, but Clay does go, yeah. He's tell him, Bo Daddy, tell him.
That's my favorite. That's a 15 before boons, and then I will roll the 2. The higher one is 6, so that is a 21.
Oh, talk about a reversal of fortune. So there is a silence in the crowd where the members of the Third Eye look to Tanaka, they look to you, they're confused. They thought, wait, I thought he was bad, but this doesn't sound like the bad guy. What's happening here? So the room has paused. And Shra, are you climbing the wall still?
I think, well, if I was already climbing and Gary started talking, I think at this point I probably stopped near the ceiling.
Right. Well, make a quick agility check with a boon.
So it's 11 and a 6, and my agility is an 11, so that adds 1. I always forget how the number works.
Yeah, that's 11. So
So it's
any
a
number you have
18.
above 10 adds a plus. Boom. So you're up the wall. You're at the ceiling of the wall, hanging on. Your hooks dug in. Even though this is stone, it's a little bit softer stone, and this is your gift, and you were made for this. So you're climbing a wall in a way that no normal person could. So you're up at the ceiling. You're stuck on the wall, looking down, hearing this conversation. And what have you done? So do you sit on the sapphire? No, you showed it to Naka. What have you done with that? Sorry, not the sapphire bird.
Yeah, I showed it to him and then put it away. But if somebody wants to see it again, I'll gladly show it to him.
Please no.
And I take that analogy back. It's just a very bad sign. It's a sign that you're undoubtedly probably going to be their end, especially in a business trail.
Shirai has no fucking clue who these people were that gave him a thing. He was just happy to be useful.
Yeah, he learned it the hardest of ways. So you're hanging onto the ceiling. Tanaka's looking up at you. Kankor is like, I've been suspicious of these people. Delphina, you can tell she's softening to it.
Are birds bad? Do you not like birds here? I thought in the sky. I am very confused.
Maybe they don't like birds because birds can outfly them and stuff. Maybe it's like a competition. Maybe they don't like birds.
Is there something I could roll to convince these people that I legitimately do not know what the fuck they're talking about? Because that is the fact.
Yeah, so make a social challenge roll with 2 Banes. I mean, they're suspicious. There's a lot going against you at this moment.
All right, well, the straight roll is an 11, and so that's a 9 and it's a 5. 7 total.
Yeah, so the crowd is like, they look up at your voice. They're like, who is this guy up there? I mean, they are confused, and the crowd is bewildered here in this moment. And Tanaka takes a step forward. So it's not that you set them against you, Shira, but it almost was just disregarded as, this guy's crazy. He's hanging onto the ceiling like a spider, ranting about a bird. He's the madman. Tanaka comes up to you, Gary, toe to toe. Delphina's right by his side. And he looks at you, Gary.
Yes.
No matter what happens tonight, if you stab us in the back, you'll be a dead man.
That's a 2-way street.
Two-way street. You'll be getting on that boat. You'll be doing just as we planned and rehearsed. I don't want to hear any more about it. Tanaka storms out of the room, and Kankor is walking next to him. And he's kind of this spindly guy who always seems to have negative things to say. And he's sort of talking to Tanaka as he's walking away, talking against you guys as they step out of the Great Hall. And the rest of the members of the group, of the Third Eye, sort of disseminate, because some of them know you and have liked you, and it's sort of awkward moment of them sort of, sorry, they just fade away. Delphina is left here in the room. There's a couple odds and ends that are of the lower members that are hanging out, and it's settled. And Shira is still hanging from the ceiling.
Am I fighting someone or?
Honey, come down.
You're okay.
Just come down, honey.
Okay.
I'll catch you, man. I got you.
Oh, okay. Let go.
Clay misses. Can't catch you at all.
So you guys, you have a moment. Delphina is just looking at you, and she just looks at you, Gary. Kingfisher Society. How could you be connected?
I'm confused. Do people not like the bird? The people who said I was a bird?
Don't, hey, listen to me, though. It's not about the bird. It's about the people that gave you the bird, the bad. The bad people that gave you the bird.
They are?
Yeah.
Like how? Like why?
Like real fucking bad. Like just bad. Just like stabby. You know, get them, kill them, killing good people, killing bad. They're just doing it up, man. Just do bad stuff.
They did not mention that.
No, man. Why would they tell you that? What the fuck?
Well, cause I thought we were friends.
No, man. Me and you is friends. You're not friends with them. They just trying to play tricks on you and shit.
It's fine.
I wouldn't play tricks on you, except when I just told you I'd catch you. But that was funny.
That was pretty funny. I would rather be a fish. Anyways.
Fishes is good, man. I breathe underwater. I swim so freaking fast. I was there's water around here. I can swim. I through water.
But so Gary, should I not help the bird people?
I lean down to Shra and I just say, you didn't do anything wrong. You haven't done anything wrong, but I don't know enough about those people to tell you whether or not you should follow what they tell you to do. So I'd say do what you want to do, but maybe just don't tell people about them as freely. A lot of people don't trust like that, you know? But you didn't do anything wrong. It's not your fault.
Okay. This is all very confusing.
I mean,
I know. And what did Delphina try to say? I'm sorry, I missed it earlier. Did she say? I'm sure she said she's sorry. I'm sure that's what she said.
She's still here in the room. She couldn't believe that you were involved with the Kingfisher Society, and it's just too much for her for the moment. And she's just stepped away. She's like, "Hey, I'm still with you, but I just need a minute to sort this out."
It's probably for the best, and I lean down and scoop up my bone sword. I've got some things to take care of. Pretty busy tonight, and I turn heel and walk back to the others.
Clay
Quoting
leads
right
into
back to her what she said to me.
Clay leads into Sharon. He says, "Are they breaking up? I hate to see a couple break up like that."
Oh, were they like
Man, I don't know,
mates?
but I don't know. There's some tension there, though. I don't. You never want somebody to say, you know, I need some time. It usually means I'm gonna go away and never come back. My experience.
So, Atticus, you're buddying up here now with Nemain and with Noctum. With Gary, and the discussion of the Rihanna just disappearing through the wall, and everyone knows now that you're less than an hour away from taking off into this fight. So in less than an hour, you get on that boat and you're gonna go do this thing or not. So he mentions to everyone what he saw with Rihanna.
He walked that way and then was not there anymore.
So we think it's secret passage?
Are there vines on the wall?
So
So we go
why
inspect
doesn't
the wall and
everybody
see what
make? Yep. So all right. So Atticus, you sneak on over towards the wall. So what's happened is there's these layers in the wall. The way it's miming, yes. So the way the walls are not just flat like this; they're sort of layered in the way they've been shaped. And go ahead and make a perception check here.
Perception 10, so
You just yeah.
8. Yeah, it rolled an 8.
You're feeling around the wall. It's not quite coming together how she disappeared, or maybe it just was in your mind. You can't quite put it together. Does anybody else take a journey, take a look
I'll
on the
take a
wall?
roll.
I will as well.
Clay's
roll.
Yeah,
about it.
What are we rolling for this? Because
Well,
I
perception
opened
check.
perception. I stuck my arm in a door before. Oh well, not with the one, and it's not. No, nothing's gonna help me there.
I got a 15.
I got a 16.
Okay. So Clay is.
I got a
and-
4.
yeah.
Oh god, I got a 4.
So in the
He's like,
main,
"Where's the
everybody's
wall?"
feeling up the wall. Feeling up the wall. It's just some people in the chamber kind of looking over at you guys, kind of wondering what's going on. And Clay, you're feeling the wall, and then your hand slips around one of the sides, and you realize it's an optical illusion with the layering. And that if you turn yourself sideways, you could slip in between the cracks, and that there, at least as far as your arm reaches back, it goes in.
Clay just is like, "Hey guys, watch this," and just whoop right in there.
Where the hell you go?
And like that, Clay steps around the corner, and just like you saw before, Atticus, she can disappear from sight, just like with Rihanna.
And then Clay waits a couple seconds and pops back out. He's like, "Oh, I was here, then I was gone, then I was back."
Guys,
Whatever
Clay
that
has
is, it's just
magic
like that.
powers.
Yeah, you damn right, buddy. Hell yeah.
So clearly there is some sort of passage, and Gary, you can also see it as well too. You realize that you've been here for months and you've just never been. I mean, you haven't spent hours combing a wall, and you realize it's been there all this time, right in front of your eyes. That there is some sort of passage behind this.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, and I mean, if he's already behind the wall and didn't tell them like what was going on, because I think I was the only other one that rolled high enough to know, I was like, look, and I kind of like gesture over at the crack, and I will start to slide back there and see and follow, as it were.
Nice. So you guys, one by one, you slip behind this, and you're on your side, sneaking through this crack as you're slithering down this hallway, sort of sideways, and boom, it opens up to a smaller tunnel, smaller than the other tunnels that you normally maneuver around inside of here. And it's all black as pitch back here. And you can see maybe just a few feet in front of you before it fades to black, and it's almost as if it's leading downward. There's this bit of a curve, and it's leading down.
Clay's like, hold on, guys, I got this. And Clay puts on his boarding mask, and uses his sight enhancement charge. So for the next hour, I have +5 to perception and dark sight.
Nice.
Oh, that'll come in handy.
So tell us a little bit what this boarding mask looks like.
It's, I don't know how to describe it. It's very weird looking.
So imagine it's like, go for it.
It's purple, and it's kind of got like tentacle horns on it, and it's got like a really weird looking, like a face, and
So almost like if Bane's mask was
Yeah.
merged with an octopus.
yeah, kind of, yeah, and it's got like slits for the eyes, and then it's got like teeth with like big jowls and like 2 big fangs on it.
So
Very-
when Clay puts this mask on, he's a frightening sight. But what happens is the mask starts to glow, like some of the fish deep down in the ocean, and this soft greenish light floats down the tunnel, and you can now see about 20, 30 feet ahead of you. You can see here now in the dark, and you realize this tunnel is winding down. It looks like corkscrew style. And so you can see well now, Clay. So you don't have any banes for this. You can see clearly ahead of you, and you can see this tunnel.
Cool.
What are you doing?
Clay's like, all right. He says, all right, boys, and the main. I got this on this one. And he says, this thing goes down and around and just on my 6. And he slowly starts going down.
Nice. So what everybody else doing? Are you following Clay into the dark?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Nice. So it circles around, and you also can see as well, too, a little bit from this green light. Everyone else, Clay obviously has the best vision of it. And the tunnel is, you're a little bit hunched to maneuver around. These were not built for everyone to be running up and down them. But it takes you down, spirals down, and opens up into a room that's maybe 10 by 10. And sitting in the middle of this room is this glowing suit of what looks like could be armor. It's made out of amber blice. It has this living organism on the back of it. It has a beautiful blice helmet. You've never quite seen something this intricate in the way it's designed. And you can tell across the chest of it, it has what looks like almost these spore grenades built across the chest of it on the arms. And there is this webbing with the arms that goes to the back of it that almost looks like you could have the ability to glide and maneuver very effectively. So if you're wondering, you're probably staring at what is the flight suit.
Jerry, that's our baby.
That's it. That's your baby, if you want it, or whoever. I don't know. How do you want to handle this? It's your bartering chip.
Let me ask the party, do you all trust me? You know that I would do right by us every time, right?
And on that note, we take a 10-minute break, and then we'll see you. We'll see you back.
Very nice. We'll be back. You know what? There's probably a platform out there where we could pretty simply, there's got to be something open source for creating fighting games, right? We can make a Mercs of Mischief fighting game.
Look, we got to come up with special moves. You can't just say it's a fighting game.
Well, all the special moves are built in. We just have to rip off all of WotC's IP.
I picture that Grubhub in the Forgotten Realms is delivered by a literal grub. And when you close the door, it hops up on two legs and dashes away.
Hooves hub.
I don't
know what's better, the name or the silence that came immediately after.
I was thinking
come up to your window?
eat. Can you imagine an army delivering one taco to your door?
I think that the Academy should corner the gig economy here.
I think it's Dimension DoorDash.
Dimension DoorDash?
Brandon, we can't hear you.
I think he said, "God damn it."
That seems like a very Braden.
Now he's flailing about, even though we still can't hear him.
He's in problem-solving mode.
He's cussing out something. Like, man, that was so easy.
I like when you steal a shitty truck from some farm people. Fucking every cop in the county comes after you guys. When you break out of a hospital, it's just I went over the bridge. They're gone now.
Seriously, you should be ashamed of yourself. This is the fucking easiest shit. You have been programming Monopoly games since 1992. Alright? This isn't difficult. How did you fucking whiff this so bad? No, this is fucking inexcusable. In fucking 2010.
Still frozen on my side. I'm playing with a bunch of fucking ghosts. And nobody can complete this auction. I'm looking at a fucking empty auction screen. And this is all fucking Ubisoft's fault. You fucking shit the bed so bad on a game that was mastered before the fucking Great Depression. Holy shit. You
Ow,
could have
God, I
fucking
can't breathe.
scratched the code. It ain't over yet. I've played my Silver Flame Ritual card. Which places a +1/+1 counter on each creature I control. And if I play it with the Adamant cost, if at least 3 white mana was used to cast the spell, all of the creatures gain Vigilance as well, giving my token knight +1/+1 in Vigilance, along with both of my Basari lieutenants and my youthful knight. I'm doing the Yu-Gi-Oh thing. I place into play my Silverwing Squadron, a flying human knight. It has Vigilance, so it does not need to tap to attack. When the Silverwing Squadron's power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures I control, Silverwing Squadron, whenever it attacks, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with Vigilance, equal to the number of opponents I have. and that's you, Kaiba.
Body pillows don't have to be weird.
They don't.
I know. They can be very weird. That's why I said they don't have to be.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're using a skeleton as a pillow, Skylar, what are you doing?
It's a pill. It's a what?
It's a pile of bones. It's not a pillow.
It's a friend.
It is calcium at best.
Ambush! Push!
No, please!
Ambush! Push!
Hey.
What are you doing?
You stop.
Why don't I wear clothes?
Hello. Who would like really hard mozzarella stick? I found them on the table.
That's wooden plank, you idiot.
This mozzarella stick is good for you.
Oh, I touched. Let me touch your face.
Caress me, sir.
I'm trying to, but your face is too far.
I spilled bodies everywhere. But I do know the solution. There's a business called Penn's Catering. Feeding hellspawn and getting bodies gone. Feeling swole.
Okay, I killed their healer. Good puppy. Good puppy. Oh,
Yes.
you need to ride this out to its final tragedy. Like
Guys, I've been talking to this dog for a while, and he's got some good ideas.
I have a technical
'cause-
question. How short is that T-shirt?
It's a crop top.
You.
It's a crop top. I'm not. It's not lewd. I'm sorry, my midriff is there. Don't shame me.
Are you a fucking roller derby chick in 1960s California? Why do you have a crop top?
Or alternatively, are you a volleyball dude in 1980s California?
The world is broken. Broken by the gods who gave it life, then abandoned it. We have been left to fend for ourselves, our divine essence bonding with the plants, which we reshaped into weapons, bonding with the sea, which then reshaped us. Next was the insects, and then the beasts of the land. We found remnants of the gods, chaos, the power to transform reality, but it was not meant for us to wield. The secret societies, with both noble and selfish goals, have tried to control it. Something has changed. Gaia has awoken from her slumber, and Asunder has begun to devour itself. The Naga have betrayed the Alliance. Demons flood the Black Isle, and the dead have begun to rise. Most deny the end is coming. We've seen the signs, cannot turn back. We are the Seekers, and we will find the answers wherever they take us. Our story can be your story.
right, welcome back. Before we jump back in, we did have a giveaway today with 2 prizes. And we have 2 people who entered it. So, Wild Wolf, I know you won something before. Let us know what it was that you won. We'll get you the other thing. Remember, there's a map and there's a book set. And, one-shot questers. We'll get you the other. We'll connect with you guys over on Discord. But first, let's take a moment to meet our players and where we can find more of them. Adam, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, you can find me at Failed Superhero, at World of Asunder, at Failed Superheroes Club on Facebook, at Failed Superhero on Twitter, at Failed Superheroes Club on Instagram, and also World of Asunder on Twitter. I make comics and games, and I write TV for a living. We'll pass it over to you, Autumn.
What?
First time on the internet. It's her first time on the internet. It's very difficult. You understand.
I'm all trying to find my unmute button. Like, I'm Autumn Ivy. Hello, everybody. You can pretty much find me under anywhere. linktr.ee/XX Autumn Ivy. XX is probably the quickest way to do it. But pretty much if you just Google XX Autumn Ivy XX, you'll find all of my links to all over the place. Facebook, Twitter, so on and so forth. I do a little bit of everything. I like to pick up heavy stuff and put it down, and I do my favorite kind of lifting with people's motivation and souls. So it's a bartering system.
Gary.
Howdy, it's me, Noctum Sky. You can find me over on YouTube, where I've actually been doing like daily uploads for like 2 weeks. I played Resident Evil, I've been playing Bug Snacks, I've been playing Kirby Golf, which was very interesting and got very intense. But you can also find me at Twitch occasionally, and you can also find me on Twitter at Noctum Sky. So check me out there and check me out here on the Mercenaries of Mischief every Sunday night, playing Penathan Wright, a Necromancer Warlock. Lots of fun.
And then let's take us through it. Sarah, fill us in.
Hey, production manager here at the Mercenaries of Mischief. You can find me here on Sundays playing Gilbetta, my sea elf cleric that likes to fight rather than heal. And we've got some shows over on YouTube that you should go check out. Got, Sky does a thing where he can't cook, and so we gave him a cooking show, as you do. And we got some world building shows, cosplay shows, and then a module show where our normal Sunday DM Puck breaks down modules and how to put those into your homebrew home worlds. So come and check those out. Those drop every Saturday. And then we got our second channel, Mom's Trash Bin, where we play board games and video games and generally just fuck around on Tuesday nights. So come by and hang out.
Nice. And then Spike.
There he is. Hi, I'm Mr. Creepypasta. I'm known online as Mr. Creepypasta. I'm a YouTuber, have been for about 10 years now, and also I'm a podcast. You can find on Spotify at Mr. Creepypasta Storytime. And I'm first time here. I'm loving it so far. So.
Nice. And so then, and John, fill us in.
Yeah. Sorry, we don't have a chat command for Spike yet, but just look for Mr. Creepypasta. He's not hard to find. I'm Jonathan, also known as the Mad Maker. I'm also the producer around here, pushing the buttons. So, when stuff gets messed up, you can blame me. I legit did not know what would be the effect of sharing that information. Was not aware that they were such a disliked organization. My character's learning things all the time. And so, yeah, if you want to see me play in that sort of fashion, or if you want some ridiculous podcast stuff, check out my link tree. I know this command works. Hold on. if I put it in correctly. I do a podcast where we give out bad D&D advice. I play here on Sundays with some of these other folks, and you can find me around generally, so check out my Linktree and stuff. That's all I got.
Nice. There we go. So we're back into it. And you're standing in front of what you believe is the flight suit, this epic piece of Blyce technology, which is a mix of a living organism and Blyce crystals. It looks like it has spore bombs on it. It has this massive living spore with these vines that wrap around these Blyce crystals, and it's shaped and it's elegant. And the main says to the group,
so I just want to make sure everybody understands and is trusting of the situation. You know, I would never steer you wrong. I just need this long enough to get the information that I need to find out what this is, and then we're good. Then we can do whatever we want with anything as far as this is concerned.
Yeah, I trust you. I thought that the bird organization was my friends, but they just like said do a thing and then they left. I thought it was because they gave me a cool present. But you were like, you've been like hanging out and helping and stuff and kept me from dying. So I trust you.
I got you, boo. I'd do it again too.
I don't trust anybody. All you got's me. I got me.
No, you can trust her though.
Clay. I trust me.
You know what? That's fair. I'm for that. So trust you. You trust you. But also know that I'm gonna do this thing and that I'm okay.
Look, I'm just saying you do whatever you want, but I just trust me. All right.
I can appreciate that attitude. That's all right.
Yeah, okay. I'll trust you for now.
Cool. So everybody's in line. I'm going to carefully look around the area and make sure that this thing's not booby trapped first and foremost, because I trust nothing. As she starts to move forward and take a look to grab the suit.
So make a perception check. Let's see what you can find.
Okay, give me 2 seconds and we will take the roll. The thing crashed on us, so give us a minute.
No problem, no problem.
Yeah, I just want to be sure. Vital advice doesn't require any. I don't think it actually requires any seeker points at all, so I can just use it again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Vital advice you can use as a triggered action whenever you want. So the way that works is you get 1 triggered action per turn. So like if she's going to take an action right now to search, you could take a triggered action and do it as many times as you want in a day.
Oh hell, I'm a utility man. Okay, I'm gonna hold the light. I will hold the light for you and give you that that vital advice.
Nice. So you get 1 boon to this challenge roll here. So go ahead and make your perception check.
I rolled a 16.
Oh.
And it's a +4 on the d6.
Nice. So as you take a look around, and as Atticus is, he pulls out a glowing insect that he keeps in this membranous organism, and he holds it up as a light. And you guys are looking around. It's sort of the bug inside sort of glibs, and you're looking through this, surfing over the surface. You don't find any traps, but you do find another one of these optical illusion doors that takes you out of this room. This isn't the only way in here.
Oh.
Somebody want to play lookout real quick through both doors? Might be good.
We're gonna need to.
Tactician brain.
Yeah. I'll put on my knuckle dusters and go back by the door that we came from and kind of stand by the side of it. Just like, yeah. One time when I was in the swamp before I met you guys, there was a hole. I thought it was a good place to stay, but I got all the way inside, and once I got past, there was a lizard waiting. So it was very easy to get in here is all I'm saying. As I'm like,
you're suited up, you sneak back out, you take a few steps down that tunnel, and you're listening in. You can hear the voice, a couple of voices in the distance. Is that Cancor's voice you hear? You're not sure, but you could hear a voice in the distance on the far end of the tunnel, of which you came down to get to the suit. Who's on the other tunnel?
Clay's like, I got you, baby. I'll look the other way. I'll go.
I want to know
All right.
what's down that tunnel, though. Like, I want to see, because we know where we came from, but I also want to poke my head, like, just to see, like, are there people right on the other side of that doorway? Is it a way out? Like,
let's grab the suit and put it in a safe position and then check that out. I only say to be safe.
Is this a grabbable suit, or is this like somebody?
This is not a grabbable suit. This is like you got to get in it kind of suit. It's it's a massive operation that is a full body experience to get into it, and you could not stuff it in something. You could carry it, but it would be like carrying a person around. It's a big, and the organism on the back is large. Now it's Blyce crystals, which skimmers can activate, right? Through their essence, and it can become very, very light. But for people who can't, it's not so light. If you reach out and give it a feel.
What if we used both shields that we have? We can basically body block each one of the doors, give somebody a chance to get inside of the suit.
Yeah,
works for me.
Are you gonna try and take a peek down the other tunnel, Gary?
Yeah, I definitely want to stick my head through there before we do anything. I just want to see if I can tell, like, is it like lead to outside, which would be optimal, or like is it just another hall or what?
Okay, so why don't you go ahead and roll 1d20.
Can I hold that ball a little bit so you can get a clear view of that track? Yeah,
you take because in Asunder, they use all kinds of insects or all sorts of like phosphorescent moss, and yours is this insect that lives in this membranous sphere, and you hold it up and it glows, and you can see a little bit farther down the hallway.
So that is a 14 plus the boon from him is a 3, so 17 total.
Yeah, so 17. So you take a peek down there, and you can see it also winds down, and it winds up pretty steeply, and you can hear a little growl at the end of it. It's a deep, low, inhuman growl, and sort of a shuffling of something scraping against stone. You're uncertain exactly what it is, but it's not the sound of a person. It's big and deep.
And so there's a grin on Gary's face as I turn back around, and I'm like, wyverns, that's the way out. And I will get with Clay, because I'm sure Clay is guarding this door, and I'll kind of like just sidle up next to him and push my shield into the crevice just to make sure nothing rushes around the corner. But other than that, I'm just waiting and looking expectantly at Nemain.
So it's time to make a move, because that sounds like we can get this moving now. This whole plan can be moving now.
Now or never.
All right, so Nemain's going to make the move towards the suit to try to get into it at this point.
Gotcha. So what's your strength, Nemain?
Let me triple check. So my strength is, okay, so I think I got, double check me, but I think I got a bonus last time because my strength is at 10, but that was my old sheet. So check me.
So you would have gotten a plus 1 if you added
perfect. So
you'd be at 11.
So 11. Okay, so it's 11.
Okay, so you start to get into this suit. It's quite intricate. It's tricky to get into it. Its edges are sharp. As you sort of dig your way in and gash yourself a little bit into it. It was built, you can tell, for somebody not of your size. It was built for somebody more skimmer size, slighter figure. But you're sort of rustling your way into this thing, and it's heavy. We're probably talking it's about 140, 150 pounds that you've got on you. And as a woman who lifts a lot of weight, you realize you ain't moving very fast in this thing. It was built for a skimmer who could adjust its gravity. So you can feel it, but you're essentially at 1/4 movement trying to get around. You got the squat rank walking with you. But you can definitely, when you're in this thing, you can tell that this was built for combat. The way it's shaped. This was built to fly. It has all these explosives on it. This is something, this would be a mighty suit in the right hands.
Useful. Okay, good to know.
All right, so the suit is on, and Gary, what are you doing?
I mean, if it once it's on, I'm directing everybody. I was like, all right, we got to go down the stairs, like towards the wyverns.
Right. So you slip into the hallway down to the wyverns, and then everybody make a perception check really quickly.
Spike's got a 17,
15.
and I have a 19.
I mean, 11.
Got a 20. Because I've got +5 because of my boarding mask.
So everyone this is a very perceptive group. So in the moment you dip down to the hallway to the wyverns, you can hear some voices coming in from the tunnel that leads into this room from the main room. And it's Delphina talking to Tanaka. And you can hear him telling her, this is what she was made to do, was to fly this suit. She was the one that was been chosen. She passed the test. And she was destined to fly this suit and change things for the third eye. And you can feel the admiration in her that this is what her life has led to. And they're just about to step into the room. And then you start to hear another voice coming ahead of you, and you can tell this is Rihanna's voice. And she's talking maybe with one of her other captains. You can't make it out the words, but you can recognize her very raspy Demi Moore voice down the tunnel. So you got getting pulled on two sides.
Real quick, in my mental link to Nemain, there's the question, because has she bonded with this suit? Has it, like, when you get in this, does it bond to you like living gear, or?
It's not. This wouldn't be qualified as living gear. This is essentially made out of. It's made out of Blyce crystals.
Gotcha.
So it would be like a non-mainlander trying to manage chaos. It's just sort of outside of your sphere.
So to her though, I ask, I'm like, can you fly that? Like, will it work for us?
You could give it a go. You could certainly give it a go. The living organism on the back, you can tell some sort of thrust mechanism. At its full weight, though, you're not sure what will happen when you step into the sky.
Listen, I already don't like heights, so I will dead ass switch somebody smaller, because I ain't about to fly my happy ass into the ground, if you dig.
I want
but I
to
will
fly.
throw bombs.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, he's a bird. He's a bird.
Friends,
Well, I don't want to be a bird anymore, but I do want to fly.
None of us are from Sky City. None of us can activate, and I kind of tap on the back the crystals. This is what will make this work optimally. And there's only one person around right now that I think can. And I kind of turn back towards the way we came. And there's like a look of wide-eyed, like, we can take out the captain and try to convince Delphina to join us again.
Hey, since they... Hey, Atticus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If they don't like... If I told them where they could find some of the bird people, would that make Gary's girlfriend happy?
With a little bit of backup, I'm sure. Yeah, that could work. They seemed rather adamant about it.
If they approach it tactfully.
You mean
approach
like
it what?
around the corner in the suit that we stole from?
Well, we put it back, then nobody has to know we stole it. We just found it.
Yeah, just like
I
we're
still
here.
gotta get it to the House of Ra.
And we could have stolen
later. Yeah, at any point.
We have to make a decision now. They're about to find out.
All right. You're out of time. You can make one choice before Delphina and Tanaka step into the room.
Shit.
If we put it back, it'll always be there. You can always take it another time.
Yeah, I've basically presented the option that I can provide where I was supposed to meet up with the Kingfisher, as well as like my tokens of legitimacy, if they are interested in any interaction with those people. I don't know whether they would be, but that's an option I put out there. So,
I will. Frick. I will recede to come back to get the suit, but we have to get the suit. I need that information. But we will propose, using Gary, how we present that information in the best manner.
I think we're about to have to make an explanation real quick here in a moment, regardless.
Namain is saying this as she's trying to quickly shuffle off and like clawing herself out of this thing.
Let's make an agility check, Namain. Let's see if you can get out of this suit before Delphina shows up.
Oh boy.
I will help. I will.
Bless you, sir.
This would be...
All right, we're looking at a nat 20 and a 4.
So it's almost as if you were made to do this act. You slip right out of this. It only cuts you a few times on the neck and chest, and you slip out of this. You're out of the suit. You leap for the other secret passage, and you dive out of the room. And are you guys all trying to stay in the room, or you're all trying to not be in the room when she comes in? Yeah.
I was going to stay. I was going to stay
Oh.
in the room and have a conversation with them. But if everybody else seems like they're leaving, then I'll be like, oh, that's a good point.
Can we come in as they're coming in and make it like, oh, we got lost going to the bathroom?
We could try.
How many times is that going to work?
Clay is slipping out. Clay's slipping out toward the wyvern path, and
Yeah. So you guys take a dive into the hallway towards the wyvern pathway. The suit is like swinging into position right as Tanaka and Delphina step into the room. You've got eyes on them. You're peeking around the corner, and they step up to the suit. Tanaka gives Delphina a salute and says, he's so proud of her and all that she has accomplished. And tonight she will go down in infamy for what she's going to do here. And he couldn't be more proud. And he claps her on the shoulder and then heads back up into the main room. And Delphina is left alone with her suit. She looks at it for a moment. She almost gets a little choked up, realizing, what this means to her. And she slips out of her armor and takes off a lot of her extraneous gear and starts to climb into the suit.
Stop her from climbing fully in.
Clay's like tapping Gary, like, "Are you gonna talk to your girl?"
Oh, okay. And very awkwardly at first, Gary pushes out of that side hallway, and just as he comes in the room, it's just like, so this is what you always wanted.
Boom, she spins around on you, reaches for her Blythe dagger, and holds it out because you just scared the heck out of her. She's essentially caught her in the middle of changing, if you will. She's diving into this suit. What are you doing here, Gary?
I tried to tell you I needed to know where that suit was. Like, I tried to be honest with you as fully as possible, but you didn't believe me in front of everyone else.
Nothing about this night has felt honest. The Kingfisher Society, everything that's going on, all of a sudden it starts to unravel. It's starting to unravel and right in front of me. I don't know if I can trust you anymore.
Do you want me to be as honest and open as I can possibly be with you?
Yes.
I have a friend who needs information from the House of Ra. The only way they will offer up that information is if we appear to present them with technology. And I kind of gesture at the suit. We would have no intention of leaving it with them. And we will destroy as many of them on the way out as possible. But we need help, and we need to appear as though we can offer that to them. I would never, ever leave it in their hands. And like, I'm being honest with her. This is not a lie. This is not subterfuge.
No, it's not a lie. So roll 1d20. Let's see how convincing you be. Make it a social challenge roll. You've got one Bane against you, obviously after the events of tonight.
Whew.
And let's see what happens.
Can I like elbow back towards Spike, or I mean not Spike, Atticus, just like, hey, help me out here.
Of course I will. I will be that voice whispering to you from the behind the curtain.
He becomes Cyrano de Bergerac. This becomes Cyrano de Bergerac, and he's whispering it to you. the right words. You
So
understand.
does that just break it to not it's a 1 bane and 1 boon, so it's just a flat roll, right?
Cancel. The cancel, yeah.
It's a 4. It's always a 4. Gary can't talk to ladies, apparently.
She says, Gary, I don't even know what you're talking about. It sounds like madness. I'm going to get in this suit and do this, and I need you to get out of my way.
If you move, I will kill you myself, so help me. Listen, I need you to understand the words coming out of my mouth.
Did you jump into the room? Or do you just talking from the shadows?
Screaming.
Okay, weapons drawn. Weapon drawn.
I will not draw my weapon yet, but I will have my fists ready to go because I don't need a weapon to whoop your ass.
Okay. So now this has turned into a definitely a high conflict situation. She's getting nervous. She's looking at the suit. She's got her dagger out, and she realizes you were never here for the cause, Gary. You were never here. It was always about the suit. You were always going to steal this. You're working for the enemy, for the House of Ra.
That doesn't mean the feelings weren't real.
Oh no!
It doesn't. It doesn't matter about the feelings. Nothing matters now. You came to betray us, and all that we've done together, it was fraud. And you can tell her eyes look over to where the rest of her clothes are, and you can see that she has a lot of people in the third eye, on the captain's level, have this small organism that they can squeeze, and it sounds the alarm, if you will. Cancor had it, Tanaka has it, she has one. And she's eyeing it there where she left her clothes on the ground, and she's thinking about maybe taking a jump for it.
Can Nemain make a move to subdue?
Sure, you mean you want to like tackle her and like grapple her, or what do you mean by subdue?
As gently as possible, get her into a non-mobile position so that she can at least hear us out before she makes too stupid of a move.
Well, she certainly heard you out. So she's gonna take an action.
Yes, please.
So roll 1 die 20. You've got 1 bane to try and subdue her, and give it a go.
15.
-4.
-4, so 11.
So 11. So she leaps out to try and grab the alarm. You leap in to try and get her. You slam into each other, but she still manages to slip out of your grasp and reach for the alarm. Is anybody going to take a triggered action?
I mean, we got to do something.
I think Atticus is making a move. He's looking.
Was that? Can't hear you, Spike.
Spike, you're muted, yeah.
Yeah, he's
Sorry.
working.
The worst I could do is give her a bane on it. I'm not too sure if there's I don't think that actually. She doesn't have like a challenge roll on hitting alarm.
So you can try and take a triggered action. You can take a triggered action. No, it's just an automatic. You can take a triggered action. Try and throw your shield.
I will throw my shield. That is absolutely I'll throw the hornets at her.
You hurl, and so this shield it sprouts out of your arm, and it looks like the back of a hornet. It has wings on it. It has spiked edges, and you toss it like a much more sinister-looking Captain America, and roll 1 die 20.
10.
And then 10. You get. What's your strength?
My strength. Where's that? I guess. Yeah. My strength is 11.
Okay, so you get a +1, and excuse me. So you get a +1, and so wham! You slam the shield. The shield slams into her. Boom! And roll 1 die 6 +2.
Okay. That is 6 total.
Okay, boom. That shield smashes right into her chest, cuts her up from the spikes, and it knocks her to the side. She rolls past the alarm. She falls out of her hands, and she's bleeding. She's knocked to the side, and the hornet's wings pop out on the shield and fly back around the room and come back to you.
I want you to know.
So, Gary, first of all, I want to apologize. I don't know this woman, but apparently you did.
Yeah, there's like so wait, what is the current situation? Just so I'm clear. We've got Nemain holding her, and we've got...
No, so Nemain failed to, like, tackle her, so they kind of, like, dove for each other. Delphina dove for the alarm. And Nemain tried to intercept her, failed to intercept her. So let's imagine she grabs the alarm, and then that's when Atticus threw his shield and hit her right before she could sound the alarm. And boom, she's dropped the alarm. She's been knocked across the room. She took 6 points of damage. And so now it's an attack. Now social. You can no longer rectify it socially. As once somebody's been damaged, it becomes, unless there's an outrageous circumstance, which I don't know this is that.
Well, I was going to say, so if he apologized and I heard him and, like, I understood, but also I was just going to rush over to her, like, immediately and try to, like, I can't put blood back in you, but I can, like, make sure she's okay. So,
okay, you rush over to her side. She's okay. Clay, Shra, are you doing anything? Is somebody trying to grab the alarm? Is anything happening?
Yeah, it looks like she was going for an important thing. Do we need that? Yeah, I'll rush over to whatever this alarm thing was.
I mean, you certainly know what it is. You've seen these and they use them.
Okay, yeah, no, if we've been there for a while.
This is not a rare, unique thing. This is what the captains have, yeah.
Okay, yeah, then I will scoop that up and just, like, look for somewhere. I'm going to look for somewhere up high to put it that only I can get to.
Perfect.
So there is a very high shelf on the top where it looks like there's more bombs that could go on this suit. It's part way up the wall. You could quickly climb up it and set it there next to the
I see it like a crevasse shelf up there, and I climb up, and then as I go, I'm just gonna put this away. Oh! And I see the grenades. I'm like, hey, you guys want some? You guys want some of these?
Oh, hell yeah.
There's
hell
4
yeah.
grenades.
Give me one point.
I'll pass them out. Everybody gets
so
one.
You toss them to people. Okay. So Clay, go ahead and make an agility challenge roll here.
Oh, these aren't like explode on impact grenades, are they?
Yeah, kind of like that. That's the kind of how
If that's what if these are like water balloon style, then I'm not tossing them.
So she needs to catch it. If it hits the ground, there could be a problem.
I mean, is that something that I would know? But I know how these grenades
really.
work.
These are not.
Right.
They're not a practical weapon.
Fuck it.
They
okay.
use.
Let's go.
Hey, be careful with that vital advice.
Volatile advice.
You said agility?
Yeah.
That's a 6.
Oh! Are you giving her vital advice?
Oh yeah, be careful with that vital advice.
He's giving her vital advice. And can I give another boon because I threw it so well using my secret point?
Yes, you can. You got 2 boons. You got 2 boons.
add 2 boons to that 6, please.
All right. Well, one of them was the highest one was a 6.
Okay, great.
Okay, great. So that takes you to 12. So you dive forward and you just face plant it, slam on your chest. Oh. The grenade hits your hands, kind of bounces up, boom, and you catch it there. And everyone in the room is staring at it.
And
uncertain. And Delphina is just like.
Clay goes, that was fucking awesome. Oh my god, that was so fucking cool, guys. Did you see that?
Are these not supposed to touch the ground?
No, baby, no.
Delphina's screaming at you, no.
All right, I'll scoop up the other 3 and climb down and hand them out gently.
Okay, you scoop the other 3, and you're done with your action. So, Gary, you're trying to console. You're trying to rush over to Delphina. Okay, so she rejects. What's your defense, Gary? Without the shield.
Oh, my defense without the shield. Let me look. I haven't thought about that one in a minute. It is... it's an 11, I think, at its base, I believe.
Yeah, so it's your 10 plus your agility.
Okay, so yeah. it's gonna be 11 then.
Gotcha. So you go over there to console her, and she whips around at you and plunges her Blyce dagger into your chest, and deep in takes 6 points of damage, and she's screaming at you, traitor, traitor, and she's just slashing away at you.
Yo, I'm gonna bitch slap her. Don't you dare touch Gary.
In mental link, you just hear, we gotta go, we gotta move.
So what's happening to me? What are you doing? Are you?
I'm making a grab for the suit so that we can get moving because I trust Gary to handle his shenanigans and his ex-girlfriend.
Nice. Okay, so you're grabbing the suit.
Yeah.
Shara, you grabbed the grenades. Clay, you are holding one in your hand. And Atticus, what are you doing?
At this point, I'm gonna follow the group. I feel like, I could heal up Gray, but we can hang on to that for later. I'm sure he's got stuff to do before that needs to happen.
All right, so you guys grab the suit and you rush out of the room, down to through the next optical illusion that leads you down on the pathway toward that. You start to take a few steps down and you can start to hear the sounds, and it is indeed the wyverns, and you can hear them. You're heading right to the wyvern cages. And so you're heading that way. Gary, ball's in your court.
I want to, is it possible, here's essentially the story I'm trying to paint. I want to attempt to get her off of me, but away from this doorway that we're about to go through, because I assume we're are we like right next to that doorway, or is she like on the other side of the room and that's where I'm at? Because this is important.
No, I mean, yeah, okay, so imagine the way the room would break out. On the left side of it is the passageway up to the main hall. On the right side of it is the passageway down into the wyvern cages, right? And then imagine this room, like I was saying, is about a 10 by 10, 15 by 15, so it's not massive room.
Right.
It's a fairly small room, right? And so in the center of it was the suit. And imagine just a few feet away from that is where you and Delphina are on the ground in the fight.
Okay, and I'm going to say, are we probably closer to the main hall side of the room?
Yes, you're on that side. Yep.
Cool. So I honestly just want to get away, like just shove off, not like trying to hurt her or anything. I'm just trying to disengage, essentially. And then move through that door, and as I run through the doorway, I call to Shara, and I'm like, I need one of those, like reaching out for one of the things he just had.
Yeah. You got
it.
Okay.
And what I'm wanting to do is, as soon as we're all through that doorway and on the other side and everybody's a little bit in the hall, I want to throw one of those at the doorway.
You're reaching for those. I want to just say that, like, we already stopped one alarm. Are you sure you
want to cause a second?
I will look at them and I'll be like, I think that'll seal the way down here, because she's gonna let people know regardless.
All right, he's right, but think about it for a second.
What? They're having
we can't
psychic talk. I think.
I can't hear. I don't know.
So what are you doing, Gary? How are you gonna do it?
Well, I'm listening to my team as we're running because I want to take into account what they say.
Because you're not running. You're still in the fight. You're on the ground. They're down the hallway. It's just you and Delphina alone in the room.
But Atticus and I are talking, and I'm translating this to Gary as Atticus and I are talking. So Gary can still hear us, and Atticus is saying to be weary of the alarm, but it's an understanding that she's going to raise an alarm regardless. But it would benefit us to have a few of us move down to the wyvern area so that we can secure a getaway as Gary throws that bomb.
Yes. So long story short, for what I'm doing this turn is I'm trying to disengage from her and get through that door, and if it's possible, throw a bomb at the door, but not if that's too many things for one turn.
And which bomb are you gonna do? Yeah, you can disengage from her. We'll take you the turn, right? Because you're locked in a melee fight, so you're gonna try to escape. She'll get a triggered action to try and get you again. Mm-hmm. And so you're gonna try and then get the bomb and then throw the bomb at which door are you talking about? The door to the main hall?
The door
to
the.
So I was like, we're exiting towards the wyverns, but I probably waited near the door. Like, come on, Grandpa. We're good. So yeah, as soon as he gets through the door, he asks for a bomb and I hand it to him. I think that's
I want to blow the door that leads
going down
to the wyverns.
Okay.
Once we're all through it.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense. So here's what you're gonna do. So you can get the shot and get a hold of the grenade if you run over there. But and that will be the end of your turn, right? Yeah. And then she's gonna get a triggered action to attack you. Okay. So
I'll take it.
Ooh.
That's not what you
take another 5 points of damage. So as you shove her off from you, get up to run, she reaches up and stabs you again, screaming traitor, and boom, it plunges right into your back, cuts down, she slips away from you, you get away, but you're bleeding all over the place.
Yeah.
As he comes running around this corner, Gary comes around the corner, there's blood all over his chest, all over his back, he looks like a mess, and you grab a hold of this spore grenade.
Yep. And then whenever the next turn comes along, I'll blow it.
Okay, cool. What happens? So that Delphina takes her action. She rushes over to see if she can get up there. But she tries to climb up the wall to get to the alarm, and she slips and takes a fumble, and she doesn't quite get up there. Good thinking, Shara. And she can't get up to the alarm. She's stuck in there. Now it's back to you guys. Who wants to go first? Gary, are you gonna drop? Is that what you want to do? Drop the bomb?
Are y'all all like running down to the wyverns actively? Because I want to make sure no one's near this door when
Clay has been the whole time.
Cool.
Clay is going full force for the wyverns. I love it.
Okay.
So Nemain is following Clay because she's more of the Beastmaster aspect, so she can have that communication with animals within a mile.
I'm also gonna be following the group. A lot of my stuff is more reactionary, so I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I'm following what the group's decisions are.
Yeah, I'll probably be back closer to Gary, so sort of bringing up the rear there.
Shara is dangerous. Nice. So, yeah. Okay, so the group takes off down the hallway. You're running, and it's kind of madness because you're running towards the sound of wyverns. In no one's right mind is that ever a great idea. And you know there's 4 of them, and they're big and poisonous tails, and you're running right towards them, and Rihanna is down here. But you're running right towards that sound as behind you. Gary, are you tossing the grenade?
Yep.
Okay. There's no check needed for that. I mean, you're just throwing it at the wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, boom. So you take off, you throw it against the wall, and boom. It explodes. Bits of stone are flying everywhere. There's a scream from Delphina. The wyverns give out a big roar down below. Certainly, if there's any question about what's happening, it's ended. But a bunch of the rubble falls down and covers that very sort of narrow entrance that you have to take to get out of that room. Climbing through it will almost be impossible now.
Cool.
Yep.
Nice. So the door is closed behind you. You burned the boats in the new world, so to speak, and you're racing towards their wyvern cages. So as you come around your next corner, as you burst and you burst into the light, before you are 4 wyvern cages, and they're beautiful green-horned wyverns. They're there spread out. There's Rihanna there. She's with one of her other wyvern captains. They're, back behind the cages, got weapons out. What the heck's going on with this sound? And you can see this is also the wyvern launch as well, right? There's a platform that leads out into open sky from here. This is where since you let them out of the cages, they leap off the end here and take flight. And also, not too far from you, is the skyboat that you are initially supposed to be taking is also down in here.
Oh, that's very convenient.
As I say,
it's extremely convenient.
Does the skyboat look similar to a sea boat? Does it?
That was going to be my question.
Yeah. Do either of us seafarers feel like we could pilot that thing?
It doesn't. Unfortunately, it doesn't look anything like a living ship. It's elegantly carved wood, and on the base of it is these large flight crystals that are jutting out of the bottom of it, and that's what makes it feel lack of gravity. As far as navigating it, somebody can get at the helm. Most anyone can technically do it. You just don't do it as well as a skimmer, but you could maneuver this thing as funky as it might be.
So question. So can I communicate with these wyverns because they are animals?
No. Can you communicate with all animals? Is that what you have?
It says all animals, so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, you can communicate with them. Yep.
Okay, so hear me out. Here's what I'm thinking. If I can communicate with these guys in a worst case situation, if the boat stuff goes wrong, because we only have 4 wyverns and 5 people, if something were to go awry, the wyverns can realistically carry the boat and free sail it at full speed with someone sitting in the boat as a 5th passenger. I'm just saying.
We also have the suit. There's 4 wyverns in 1 suit.
I don't trust
There's also
the
a
suit
suit.
is my problem. Because we're assuming that the suit is going to react appropriately, and I don't trust like that, you dig? I can talk to these wyverns. I'm fine with that. I don't trust the suit.
Can I try?
I see that. I trust him.
Keep in
What
mind,
do we say, guys?
you need the suit. If I fucking fall out of the sky, you're out a suit.
Yeah, but the wyverns are huge, right?
They can carry.
Like it could probably grab him if it fell. Maybe I'm asking. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, a wyvern. These are 20 feet, right?
Oh,
these are
yeah.
these are a large beast. They carry a human knight on them. A warrior rides on their back.
Right.
These are not little by any means.
Yeah.
The thing about this is they're also bonded to the wyvern riders, which means it would be like, think about with your animals, it would be like someone else trying to command them. It's not just that they're beast riders technically, and Rihanna is Picari, she's bonded to one of them, and the other ones are beast riders. They're not bonded, but they are, they're sophisticated.
Speaking of Nemain's
for them.
animals, where's that burb at?
She always nearby. She always right outside.
Yep.
Are you thinking hysteria, my guy?
I don't know. You're just saying there's a bird.
No. I mean, if you maybe were just, like giving me the side eye, saying like, hey, about that pack bond, you would be right in causing hysteria to confuse the people around us.
Yeah, I just remember last time the bird got involved.
Yep.
Things got a little easier to escape.
How does everybody feel?
Well, Clay's professions are sailor, animal trainer, and nature.
Ooh.
So I can help with pretty much either in any of
That's
these
useful.
situations.
And what you do know is that Rihanna has the key to these cages. So she's bonded to one. That's going to be harder to get. But the other 3 are not bonded to her. And she has the key to the cages. That's what you do know. And she's there with one of her beast riders. And there's the boat.
Well, we have to unlock these cages regardless. So Atticus and I are having that discussion. We know, so he's coming from a tactician point of view. He knows that we have to eliminate the cage issue, which means we have to get the key from Rihanna. Yeah.
Rihanna had gone down this pathway.
Yeah.
And she's down there. You can see her. She can see you. There's no confusion. She's got her weapon drawn. She has a lance with her.
I think it's a fight.
So what would you say, Atticus?
I overhear these guys say that they need a key. She doesn't look like she's gonna talk to us. I have a urchin profession. That should allow me to get things off of people, right? If I just try to run at her and tackle her, not even in a combat, I'm just gonna try to tackle her and get a hold of her key and to take whatever hits I take in the meantime.
Can I use Azrael to distract her as he does this?
The bird?
Yeah, is there like
you could,
it's like a docking
you
bed?
can fly her in, but imagine the bird can come right on in, but imagine she's going to take one action to get in. Let's do it. She'll take your action to summon her in, yep.
I will do that then. I will get that going.
Or take your triggered action, I should say. Okay, so you're summoning in Azrael. So the explosion, the wyverns are feeling unsettled, and then this massive 6-7 foot wingspan red bird comes screeching in through the mouth, through this opening, through this loft entrance into the wyvern area, and Rihanna and her other beast rider there are looking around in panic. They have no idea what's been happening, what's going on right now. The wyverns are getting more unsettled. Panic has ensued. You succeeded. So that would give you. It succeeded. So you would get a boon there, my friend, on doing this. So you're going to make a run for it. Is that right, Shira? And try and tackle her and just rip the key off her?
Yeah, that's basically what I'm going for. I should have.
I love it.
Free
so
nimble
you get
hands.
one boon because they're distracted. You get one boon because they're distracted, and one boon because you're an urchin, and ripping people off fancy ladies is what you used to do.
All right. Can I give you? Oh, well, you already have two. Never mind.
You can give him a third. You can give him a third.
All right, just to be safe.
So is this an agility?
For this, we'll call this agility for sure.
Okay. So I got 7 plus 2 is 9 plus 4 is 13 plus 3 is 16 plus I get 1 in agility, so that's a 17.
Okay. All right. So you slam your shoulder into Rihanna. She, swung with her lance. You ducked under it, slammed right into her stomach. Your hands are all over, taken into clothing, pockets, under armor, and boom, you lay hold on it. And this is it's a key. It's made out of a smooth obsidian stone. You can feel it when you grab it, and you rip with everything you've got, and you rip it right out from where she had tucked it underneath your armor, and you've got the key in your hand. Boom, success.
Yep.
All right, Gary, what are you doing?
I mean, so all the wyverns are in cages, and there's the boat.
Yeah.
And then it's just this one captain, commander woman, and then one other person.
Yeah, there's just Rihanna, and then one other of the beast riders that rides the wyverns.
Are these not spirit fares? Sky City. I forgot the word.
Yeah.
The skimmers.
Skimmers.
These are both skimmers. So I know that
Rihanna's a beastmaster, and the other beast rider is a skimmer.
Okay. So I know a skimmer, so I know that they can kind of manipulate gravity, right?
That's right.
Okay, then I don't feel bad at all about what I'm about to do. I'm going to try to rush forward and just shove the second one because we're in a docking bay, right? So I'm going to attempt to shove
right
them
out into open air.
Out into the open air because I'm like, they'll catch themselves. It's fine. As long as they're not up here, I don't care.
Not gonna do a Sparta kick?
I'll take
Nice.
look, if I roll well enough, I'll say it's a Sparta kick. I'll do that.
Yeah. So you guys are right there on the edge. Like you're saying, this is a docking bay. It's a flat platform, maybe 15 to 20 feet across, where they, ramp up to get some flight, to get some push off out into this open sky. So you plow into them with your shield. Roll 1d20. Let's see what happens.
That is a
You have a strength
15, and my strength is 13, so that is a 18. So yeah, you know what? I'll say it is a Sparta kick.
So roll one. So essentially, what happens is you can move somebody with a ram. You can move somebody, up to essentially your one whole round's worth of movement, which is about 30 feet. When you charge somebody, and you have one bane to do it though. So instead of damage, you move them. So roll 1d6 as well for your bane.
That is a 4. So I think it's 14 total. Yeah.
Yeah, so you slam right into this other beast rider, and boom, you knock her out off the dock into open air, and she's flying. And one of the wyverns in the cage behind you starts smashing themselves into the different sides of the cages. You can tell that's her wyvern.
Yeah,
and she goes spiraling out through the sky. She's screaming out to the skimmer. She can figure it out.
Yeah, there's
on
a
her way
turn
down.
to the wyvern, and I'm just like, she'll be fine.
What a boss.
No. So Rihanna is still in here. The other beast rider is out the door. You've got the key in your hand, Shra. Clay, what are you doing?
I'm gonna get the big ship. I'm gonna do the big ship.
Gotcha.
And I'm gonna try to see.
And why don't we say, Clay, that on this mission, you were the one that was going to be planning on steering the boat anyways.
Yeah.
It's better if you have a skimmer because you can get better speed, but you guys were preparing for this mission. You know this boat.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna try to start up the boat.
Okay, so you leap into the boat, and the way it works out to captain it is you step on 2 Blyce crystals, 1 on each foot, and they have these small little pillars that come up made out of Blyce, and you put your hand on each side to hold into it, and roll 1d6.
1d6?
Yeah.
Oh. I got a 6.
Yeah, you take 6 strain. So as you tap into it and you try and start to steer this thing, because it's an essence that's not your own, you can just feel the energy from the Blyce crystals coursing through you and destroying the cells in your body, and it's almost like an extreme wave of nausea comes over you. You can barely keep yourself on your feet, and the boat starts to right itself, and it moves up into the air off the base of the dock, and it has some flight.
Clay's like, fuck it, get in the boat, guys.
You want me to let the dragons out, or just throw the key over the edge?
Look it, let them out.
Okay.
Real quick, I do want to point out, because as Nemaine saying that, I'm like, they're bonded to them. Won't they just attack us?
The one that's bonded to Kiana to Rihanna, she will do, she'll do whatever, it'll do what she asks, which is...
Yeah, there's just a quick statement to Nemaine, just wouldn't your bird attack us if we hurt you?
Let out the other 3. I can control them. I can't control the bonded.
How do you know which one's Rihanna's?
It's freaking out.
The one that's freaking out?
So yeah, there's the one that's freaking out that belongs to the skimmer, and then there's probably another one that seems to be reacting to Rihanna. Look,
you don't know.
I've spent some time around wild animals, not maybe as much as you guys, but I've been attacked by a lot of animals.
Oh yeah, you could talk to.
So yeah,
I could literally just ask.
Point me out which one's let out.
Yes. Okay. So they point.
That's what
all of the wyverns, as soon as you reach out in your mind to talk to them, they are incredibly aggressive and negative towards you.
Me too.
They are not. They have no interest in being your friend or talking to you. And if they get out of this cage, they're not going to be nice. That's very, very clear. Because even though you can communicate with them, it doesn't mean they like you. That's the catch. It'd be one thing if they were a bird or something and you try to bond. But these are wyverns that they're telling you some mad hate.
So are they dragon-like in the sense that they're still willing to make a boon? Would they take an offer?
No, they're much more animalistic than a dragon. They don't have that same kind of intelligence like the old wise sage dragon. These are much more of a bait animal.
Fuck it, get in the boat, let's go.
Okay, and I chuck just the key just out into the great blue yonder.
Oh my God. Rihanna screams at you, no. And her wyvern slams into the cage with everything it's got, just slamming into the cage. You can tell in a moment this thing is not going to hold. And on that note, a screeching alarm sounds throughout all of the rooms and all of the tunnels inside of what they call the eye in the sky here in the base. That was Delphina, and she sounded the alarm.
Cool. I mean, we on the boat.
We should probably get on the boat.
Nice.
That's the
so you guys jump on the boat?
The wee woo, the popo's coming.
Right on.
The wee woo's coming.
All right, so you're jumping on the boat. Shara, she makes. What's your defense, Shara?
My defense is 11.
Okay. So you take 8 points of damage as you jump off of Rihanna to get towards the boat. She reaches up with her lance. She hurls it at you, and it cuts open your side. Blood's everywhere. You tumble into the boat. You're a mess, and she's run into the wall to grab the next lance to throw at you guys.
I mean, I'll take a triggered attack at her.
Banging around.
I got
it. She got a triggered attack because you ran away from her.
Oh, okay. I thought I could. Whenever I got hit, I could. Never mind. No, I'm just getting on the boat.
But
Because you're a survivor, right?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're a survivor, you do.
Exhaust the enemy. Yeah. So roll. Yeah, make an attack.
What? Nope. That's a. That's 5.
Hey, I will give you vital advice on the attack, which also call the shot gives you an additional 1d6 if you do damage.
Woo!
Okay. Well, actually, oh no, I'm sorry. It was a 6 because I do have a +1. And this is a 4, so it's a 10.
So she runs over to get the lance, and she takes a step up to it, and she's exhausted.
Yep.
It's like your essence just sapped her strength to cut you. It's like it made you stronger and happier, and it took some of her strength out of her, and she's just exhausted. She tries to get that next lance, and she turns around. I guess you now have all piled into the boat.
Yeah.
And Clay, are you getting out of there, or what are you doing?
Yeah. If everybody's on the boat, we'll fucking leave it, baby.
You start to pile it out of there. You can hear some more noise, and as you look back, there's the wider tunnel entrance, not the secret one that leads down here into the Wyvern Loft. And you could start to see Tanaka and a few other, and Kankor and a few other of the members of the of the Third Eye, come racing towards you. They've got lances, they've got shard spitters, and they're running towards the entrance here with everything they've got.
Yeah, I'm getting this boat out of here with everything I've
Bye.
Y'all, Gary will just kind of gesture at whoever's got a grenade and just be like,
Lob it.
Yeah, I gave you each one. Gary's the only one who used his. So.
Yeah, I already used mine.
I imagine Clay would have had to set.
Clay is out of his pocket.
Clay would have had to put his somewhere. So
yeah, I'll grab it off him and launch it.
Are you throwing a grenade?
I'm throwing a grenade.
Okay. So Atticus and Straw roll a grenade. Roll 1d20 real quick. Unfortunately for Clay, he's got to stay steering the ship, or it will sink. Yeah,
that's a 19 on the roll.
Even that out with a 2.
So where were you trying to shoot for? Because Atticus, you hurl your grenade, you kind of lose your balance, you huck it. And it's one of those sidearm tosses that you made in high school that never landed anywhere, and it bounces into the side of the island, the bigger side of the island, and it explodes, but doesn't hardly do a thing.
I just reactionary when somebody threw a thing at me, I threw a thing back at them. So I threw it at Rihanna.
So boom, it collides with her. It does some serious damage here. I'm sorry. You want to roll 5d6?
5? All right. Shit, I don't
5d6.
3, 5. So that's 11 so far. 13, 14, 18.
So she is blown through the air. You're not sure if she's dead or if she's alive, but she's blown through the air. The blast also affects her wyvern. It blasts part of the cage apart. Right, the wyvern is kicking at it and is bursting through the cage right now as you speak. Tanaka is looking up and realizing what's happening, and he's seeing you guys there flying away, and he's yelling at some of the other people to open the cages, and Rihanna is out for the count. No one has the keys, but her wyvern is breaking out of the cage as we speak.
So as he's breaking out of the cage, because I'm panicking. Can Azrael do anything about that? Like blind him as he's coming out before he can actually get out?
No, because he's in a cage. I mean, you'd have to engage him in combat because essentially, imagine he's in it. He's got an arm out to get to his face, which is still in the cage.
Right.
No. Yeah, he's couldn't quite be the case, and it might be a little. Go for it.
I was gonna say, doesn't your bird have like a spore thing that it can blow spores on people?
Yeah, that's the hysteria. That's the other option.
That works.
Okay, so we can make that move.
Roll 1d20.
12.
Nice. So your bird dips in there and it sprays these spores out into the air. It connects with the wyvern and it starts to go even more panicked and frantic. And it's hiding with the cage and it's lost all control. And the other members of the Third Eye are trying to figure out how to control this wyvern. They've rushed over to Rihanna. And as you're motoring away with the boat, you look back and Tanaka looks at you and Delphina is next to him. She's wounded, but she's next to him. And she's staring at you and she yells out, Gary, you've not seen the last. You are my enemy for life. Oh. And as you disappear into the sky on your boat, you have the flight suit, you've stopped the raid, but you've made an enemy forever.
Yeah, and
is the end.
As we're floating away, there's just like a little from Gary, just like, I loved you too.
Oh.
Wow. Oh. So you
So
disappear into the sky.
Your life, Grandpa. I'm sorry.
It's okay, man. I got you a pat on the back and some gummy bears. We'll be fine.
What an adventure. What an adventure. I loved this. Thank you all for playing tonight. It's once again awesome. You made great choices. And I know that that's the end of our journey for this evening. So you've made it away with a suit. You're headed to the House of Ra, or maybe you're headed to pay off Shara's friend. We'll find that out later.
What a wild ride. Thank you so much.
I love that. And thank you so much, Spike, for joining us tonight.
Oh, thank you for inviting me on. This is super fun.
Yeah, I loved it.
It was so cool having someone that could add boons to stuff. I hadn't read that mechanic yet, so I didn't know that class was like a thing, like that path.
Right? It's very useful.
Yeah, no, I love it because it becomes so useful because they're helping people out, which is a fun way to play the game.
Oh, it's just utility. I love playing these kind of roles too. Like, this is perfect for me.
Nice. And Sarah, we like Clay. We like who you've become here with this Clay. It's you've come out of your shell here with this one.
Everybody likes Clay, man. You can't not like Clay. Clay's the best.
Clay's number one.
Clay's number one. He's
nice.
the best.
Well, John, take us out of here. We're thanks for playing tonight, guys, and thanks for enjoying the world of Asunder.
Yeah, and I finally got the intro to load up. So we'll go out on the intro. Everybody have a good night.
The world is broken by the gods who gave it life, then abandoned it. We have been left to fend for ourselves, our divine essence bonding with the plants, which we reshaped into weapons, bonding with the sea, which then reshaped us. Next was the insects, and then the beasts of the land. We found remnants of the gods, chaos, the power to transform reality, but it was not meant for us to wield. The secret societies, with both noble and selfish goals, have tried to control it. Something has changed. Gaia has awoken from her slumber, and Asunder has begun to devour itself. The Naga have betrayed the Alliance. Demons flood the Black Isle, and the dead have begun to rise. Most deny the end is coming. We've seen the signs, cannot turn back. We are the Seekers, and we will find the answers wherever they take us. Our story can be your story.